This is Data Pioneer with the Linux Unix Tech Channel, and again today I would like to do a follow-on video on a subject I did yesterday on glances, which is an eye on your Linux system, monitoring your Linux system. And today I want to concentrate on doing a remote administration on a Linux desktop, monitoring that using glances with the server running on the virtual machine and of Deepin 1511. And then me monitoring it from my laptop, which is a Deepin 1511 as well. Alright, so let me do a uname and you can see that I am on my laptop right now, okay, laptop, and I'm going to open up another terminal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and do an SSH into my virtual machine. The IP address of my laptop is IP address 192.168.136.24. Okay, so that's the IP address of my laptop that I'm currently on. And let me another terminal open here. I'm going to SSH into my virtual machine, which is an IP address assigned to it of 192.168.119. Alright, so I'm going to do an SSH Data Pioneer at 192.168.1.119. It's asking for the password. Let me go ahead and supply that. And I'm in. Okay, so I'm going to, it says the last login is from 136. Alright, 1.36, which is my laptop, and just to confirm that, you can see here that now I'm actually on my virtual machine, okay, VM. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start the Glances server on the VM, and then I'm going to connect to it with the client on the laptop. And so since I am here on the virtual machine now remotely through SSH, I'm going to issue the command glances -s for server to start the server. Alright, so the server is running now on the virtual machine at port 61209. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my desktop, or my laptop rather. So I'm going to uname this to confirm to show that I am on the laptop. Alright, and so what I want to do now is clear the screen, and I want to invoke the client and connect to my virtual machine. Alright, so it's on the LAN. Alright, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in glances -c and the IP address of the server 192.168.1.119, and that should connect me to the virtual machine. Alright, and so I'm connected. Alright, so we're looking at the eye glances, which is an eye of your system, an eye on your system, basically. That's why it's called glances. And I am connected to a virtual machine, Deepin 1511 VM, with an IP address of 192.168.1.119. And public IP address, of course, is the same for both the laptop and the virtual machine. Alright, so you can see what's going on right now. I've got a 0.05, 0.03, 0.00 load here, and CPU's at 2.3%, 2.3% user, and 0.3% system. No IO8 or anything like that going on. Alright, and so what I'd like to do is, this is the let me get back here. This is looking at monitoring rather the virtual machine, and what I want to do is run a command on the remote system that puts a load on it. Okay, and so I'm going to need to fire up another terminal, and so let me go ahead and run SSH Data Pioneer at 192.168.1.119, and see if I can connect to it. with another session, and I do. And so here we go. If I run an alias, you can see that this is the alias on the remote system. Let me run an alias here on the local system. I'll need to open up another terminal for that. So give me a second. Alright, so one of the aliases I have is to do a CPU test, which is CPU test, and it's equal to this here. Okay, so it's a sysbench command, and so let me go ahead, and what it's doing is it's testing the CPU for prime numbers up to 20,000 and running it. Alright, and so let me do a copy here of that, and let's go back to the remote system, which is I'm on now. Okay, and so I'm going to run that command while I'm connected, monitoring the system with glances. Okay, and so I want to run that, and I think I'm going to need to do sudo to make that to run this command. Alright, and so here we are. This is the monitoring of that remote system. Everything looks normal. And by the way, the color coding here is, if I didn't explain it in yesterday's video, green means everything's normal, yellow means that it's starting to load, getting close to criticality, purple or violet means that it's getting critical, very close to critical, and red means it is critical, and you'll get a warning down here that you've got a criticality going on in the system. Alright, so let's get back here, and so we're getting ready to run this command, so let me put in the password. And sysbench is not found, so sysbench must not be loaded on that system. Interesting. Okay. Let me get back to. Alright, so here's I'm on the virtual machine, so let me do a sudo apt get install sysbench. Must not have it installed on the virtual machine. No, I don't. Alright, and so let me go ahead and install it. And once it's installed, then I'll be able to rerun that command that I tried to run earlier, which is this one right here. So let's run that now. And so it started the CPU test, so let's get on here and take a look at what's going on. And so now we can see that the CPU is, it's being maxed out here, 100%. And this is the virtual machine now, not the laptop that I'm currently on. Alright, and so we're already getting warnings here. And color coding should be coming up very shortly. Okay, so I guess we didn't get the red color coding on here, but we did get a critical warning here about the CPU at 99.4%. And so if we go back to the system now, we should see that it's already completed its CPU test. Alright, so the total time for the CPU test was 20.4599 seconds. Total number of events is 10,000. Minimum, average, and maximum here is 1.92, 2.05, and 15.53 milliseconds per request statistics, with a 95 percentile of 2.11 milliseconds. 10,000 events and execution time of 20.4580 seconds. Okay, so the test was run. You can see that monitoring the system here from the laptop of the virtual machine indicated that the CPU was being maxed out, and so that was working. Okay, there's another test that I could run, and that is a test of the I/O, which is the test of the hard drive. And that particular, there's two commands actually. One's to prep file and one's to run a file. I'm going to go ahead and issue this command remotely, sysbench, now that I've got sysbench installed, which is sysbench test file IO, and it's for 15 gig file preparing files for the running of that command of the test for sysbench, which is the run file IO command. And so let me go ahead and copy this and then go back here, and this is the remote system. Let me clear the screen and let me go ahead and run this command. I'll need to do a sudo again. And this is going to set up the test files. It's going to create 128 files for the test. Alright, and so 128 files, a total of 15 gigs. And if we get back to the system, you can see the CPU is starting to be maxed out here. There is considerable read and write here on SDA1, and so it's writing at 179 megs per second and reading at 1K per second there. You've got an IO weight of 9.7, 9.8%, and so we do have things going on here that we're monitoring now on the remote virtual machine. So there's a lot of writing going on here, writing out those 128 files. And once that's completed, then we can run the test and actually tax the writing, or the reading rather, of the system as well. So those files have been written now, 128 files to the system, and you can see that everything looks normal here. CPU is normal, very normal read-write of SDA1, and so the test is not being run at the moment for the run. If I go out here to the actual command that I need to run, it's this one right here that I have aliased in my laptop, which is called run file IO. So I'm going to copy it and go out on the system, on the virtual machine, and run this command on that machine. Okay, so let me do Control Shift copy, and let's go back out to the remote system, and let's run that command on the remote system. And so let me do a Control Shift V, and I'll need to do a sudo again here. Let me put sudo in front of the command. Alright, and go ahead and run it. Alright, so it's started, and so if I go back to remote administering that system, we'll see if the CPU percentage picks up. It's starting to pick up now. It's running the sysbench, and you can see there's a lot of read-write activity here going on the SDA1 on the remote system. IO weight is tremendously increased, 92.9% on the IO weight, which is the hard drive read and write. Yeah, we're starting to get yellow here on the used for file system there, and so the read and write is picking up a little bit there. So what it's doing is it's actually writing out those 128 files. It's writing to the hard drive. So it's taxing the virtual machine quite a bit, excuse me. And let's take a look and see where we are here. So see if that command is still running. Don't know if it's still running or not, so we'll have to take a look. Yep, it's still running. And so it's doing random read writes to the file, to the disk rather, and still a lot of read and write activity going on there. So it's starting to tax the system quite a bit, and you can see that's indicated there. We're getting warnings on the CPU IO weight here of 93.9%. So it's very interesting that you can monitor. Now this is in the client server configuration for Glances, So I'm able to actually tap into the VM and monitor what's going on with that remotely across the network using the client server configuration for Glances. So it's quite nice to be able to do that. You can do that for any of your systems actually. Alright, so I'm not going to have you wait much longer. I just wanted to show you that you can monitor remotely using client server. Show you a real-time example here of doing that. And so we've done that today. And so um, if you enjoyed this video and you think you got something out of it, go ahead and click the thumbs up on it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to the Linux Unix Tech channel, the Data Pioneer. And hit that bell off to the right hand side when you do, and you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And so this is Data Pioneer. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.